everyone and welcome back to my channel. I'm Diane Deziel and today I want to share with you some update about the mask, and of course I'll share with you my new pattern in my wig site. I didn't think I would need to do another one, but since here in Canada we must wear masks everywhere we go now, and I think it's going to last for a little while, I decided to improve my mask and I'm sharing it with you today. So what I did is I took all the comment I got from people that are wearing the mask. Some people are working with it, and I combined to modify my pattern. Let's start with the way we wear it. The one that I did last time had the elastic on the head and at the neck. But people that are working with it, they find that it's not convenient for their hairdo. So I decided to put it at the ear for my new one. But you could do it even with this pattern. The other thing is that it's summer here and it's very warm. My pattern here was so hermetic because the fit is so good that it's very hot inside. Especially if you use more than 2 layers, it becomes very hot. So my new pattern, it's only 1 layer on the side and you double or triple only the middle part where you really need it. Another comment that I heard that was from mask expert, let's say, is that the center seam give a bigger hole so the virus could go out easily. So for the new mask, I did not put the center seam. Another comment is from people that are wearing glasses. The little piece for the nose was a request, so I decided to do it on the new style. I did put the little nose piece and it works pretty good. Finally, for the one that are wearing the mask every day at work, sometimes the fabric cotton or even this plastic fabric is doing rush on the nose or on the chin. It's pretty stiff, so for my new mask I decided to use, at least for the final layer, a silky fabric, and it's much softer for the face. Now let's compare the mask, because I really use my first pattern to develop the second one. So if you look at the shape, you have pretty much the same shape, but for this one I did pleat. And the way I did the pattern, the pleats are already open compared to this one that you must open the pleat so the side stay flat. And the way I did the pattern, I empty the pleat, so again you have less layers when it's time to sew. Now let's look at the pattern piece. So you have the main piece that is cut on fold of the fabric. You have the center piece that you could put or cut in many layers. I suggest that you finish with the silky fabric. Then you have the pattern that's optional of the pocket or the open layer if you want to use the filter. And this one you have to put it in addition of a normal one. The other thing that you might want to use is those little tie that they put when you buy bags. For many years now, I just throw them away. But to do my mask, I decided to try these pieces and it does work perfectly. So that's what I'm using, those little wire that they give when you buy bags. The interesting thing with those little string is that on top of being exactly what I need, they're exactly the right size, so about 9.5 centimeter or 3.5 inches. Now after you cut all your piece, if you decide you want many layers at the center of the mask, I suggest you pile them and you go stitch them together all around at a few millimeters or not more than 1/8. You sew them all around before you do the overlock on both sides. If you decide to use the one with the opening, first thing you should do is overlock the opening line. You also must put the two pieces together with a tiny little stitch less than 1/8 or a few millimeters to put them together. Start at an opening and you go all around until almost the end, and now you could decide you just put them one over the other like that and it does make an opening, or you fold it and put your overlock one over the other like that to create a little pleat, and you stitch them together all the way to the end. You do that before overlocking, just like we did for the plain one. Once your centerpiece is prepared, all layers together and overlock on both sides, you're going to place it on the center of the big piece and we'll stitch all around. The reason why we stitch all around, even top and bottom, is that later we'll do the bias finishing on top and at the bottom, and this way your layers are all together and you have no worry to make sure that it's going to catch them all. Now it's time to prepare the little nose piece. So you're going to take a little piece of bias. This one is 3 centimeter wide or 1 1/8 inch by 15 centimeter or 6 inch. You take your little wire or attach and you place it right in the middle. You're going to fold each side and you'll see I'll do it right at the sewing machine. And then you fold again in the center. Now you're going to sew more or less at the width of the foot from the fold side. You're going to stitch from one side to the other. Now when it's sewn, that's what it looks like. The next thing we'll do, so it's not too far from the contour of the mask, we're going to make it smaller, narrower. We're going to cut it 1 centimeter or 3/8 of an inch from the fold. So I'll cut right here. Once it's cut, you could just fold it, find the middle, and put a little reference. Now when you have the reference, you can place it on your mask right at the middle, aligned with the middle notch here. And this way you can follow the shape and start sewing at the right place. You're going to stitch it to the mask at a few millimeter or not more than 1/8 of an inch, following the shape of the mask. Once it's done, this is what you get. Now the next thing we'll do is put the bias on top and at the bottom. When you do the bias, just notice that we put the fabric the right side up. Now when your bias is done, we're going to close the 4 pleat. You have 2 pleat on each side, and that's the way to fold them. So you just bring one side to the other like that, and you're going to sew the little corner. You could back tack at the beginning and at the end. This is 1 pleat, and this is the 2nd pleat, just like that. And you do exactly the same thing on the other side. You'll notice that, especially if you do it in cotton, that you have to shift it a little bit, and the little shift you have to do is not a mistake. That's what's going to create your 3D, and it's going to keep your pleat open. So you sew your 4 pleats. Now that you have your 4 pleat done, that's what you get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next step is going to be to overlock the edge, just like that. Now, I guess you notice that you have a smaller pleat and a larger pleat. And to do the finishing, the last seam, you're going to fold first the small pleat, then the large one. And you're going to fold more or less 2 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch, just like that. And you're going to stitch it almost at the edge of the overlock. Now the mask is finished, and the other thing that is interesting is with the little nose piece we have now, it's giving me an indication where is the top and where is the bottom. Now for the elastic that we want for both sides around the ears, it all depends on the stretch of the fabric. So I would say I'm gonna give you my measurement, but you should test your fabric and see if it's long enough. The one I use for my size medium, it's got about 21 centimeters. Here we're going to pass the elastic separate on both sides. Just a little word about these hooks to usually turn loops. When you do put it in, it should be open like that. And to make it round and easier to pass, you could just push on your fabric to make like a circle. It's going to be easier. To pull your elastic, you have two choices. Or you use the little hook like that, close and pull, or you put the old fabric, this way you don't damage anything. You close, always close, and then pull. Et voila. Then you do the knot and your mask is ready. That's it for today. I hope you enjoy. See you soon.